She bullied her mercilessly, and what she did next will shock you. Chidi. Senior Chiamaka's sharp voice roared through the JSS two-girls hostel. Her victim, Chidima, popularly known as Chidi, recoiled in bed, burrowing deeper into her pillow in hopes of being spared whatever wickedness was soon to come her way. However, she had deeply underestimated Senior Chiamaka's shamelessness. "Where is Chidi?" After calling out to her to no avail, Senior Chiamaka boldly walked into the hostel and began asking around. Chidi had been gisting with a friend on the bunk bed, and immediately pretended to be asleep as soon as she heard her name. Senior Chiamaka, not seeing her on her bed, went straight to her mates, asking after her, and soon, whether she was willing or not, her whereabouts was revealed. Chidi nearly swore out loud when her friend heartlessly shook her. "It's not my fault, dear. You know how wicked she is," her friend Ezine muttered to her before sending her off with a helpless but relieved gaze. She couldn't even hate her. If they could switch positions, she would do exactly the same, despite how deep their bond was. That was how brutal Senior Chiamaka was. Before Chidi could say a word in defense, her ear was twisted at a painful angle, and she shrieked. "Lazy thing." Senior Chiamaka shoved her aside, leaving Chidi clutching her ear, which was burning hotter than a blade on fire. "Didn't I tell you? You can pretend as much as you want, but I have someone watching you. If you like, try nonsense." Senior Chiamaka's ugly face leaned into Chidi's as she yelled, or at least Chidi wished it were true. But it was all a delusional lie. Senior Chiamaka was beautiful, truly befitting of the name Black Beauty. She stood at about 5 feet 5, with a plump but perfectly curved hourglass body, and her facial features were nothing short of excellent. She wasn't the typical model, long-legged beauty, but she was what her people would call an ashalugo, fully blossomed in all the right places, compared to her peers. Not only was she beautiful, Senior Chiamaka was also well-mannered and charismatic, so much so that she had effortlessly managed to snag the social perfect role, and was loved by most senior and junior students, along with the teachers. She was perfect, and that perfect witch was her tormentor. Looking at her despondent face, Senior Chiamaka hissed. "See, I don't like talking too much. You already know what to do. Just do it, and avoid annoying me this hot Saturday afternoon." As for what Chidi was to do, it wasn't one or two things. This wicked senior had practically turned her into a slave. Not only did Chidi have to wash Senior Chiamaka's huge pile of clothes and underwear under the hot sun, she also had to copy notes for the senior and her friends, go around the school looking for places to fetch water for both the clothes and the senior's night bath. Oh, and not to mention drinking water, which Chidi had concluded to just buy with her money to lessen her suffering. Dragged to the SS3 girls' hostel, Chidi's tiring routine began. By the time she was done, her body was drenched in sweat, and she still had no water to take her own bath. On top of that, there was no light, and because of the mosquitoes, all windows had to be shut. Chidi nearly died from heat that night, and as if to spite her, the next morning, the tap had been broken off by some JSS1 girls, leaving everyone surviving on their last kept water. Chidi had no last kept water. She had sacrificed her own to Senior Chiamaka after running around the whole school under the hot sun, searching for water, all to no avail. That day, Chidi only managed to rub and shine with the small water her friend Ezine had mercifully left for her. In class, she wasn't well known, but after that endeavor, rumors of her dirtiness began spreading. Chidi cried heavily and felt a part of her shatter, and even Ezine couldn't console her. She truly was helpless against that witch, Senior Chiamaka. Senior Chiamaka was loved by all, and she, in comparison, was invisible, probably only Ezine knew of her existence. She had pondered reporting her many times, but not only was she unsure of whether anyone would care to back her up, except perhaps Ezine, she had also been cornered by some seniors a couple of times, warned against such ideas. But the worst of all was her school. They had extremely weak laws regarding bullying, and with Senior Chiamaka's bullying being non-physical, along with her status, she would be dismissed with a shrug. After that incident, however, Chidi determined to do something herself, regardless of how drastic it was. That was how she formulated the dangerous plan that nearly made her a murderer.
Please like and subscribe for part 2.